Avatar: The Last Airbender is one of the most known animated series around, often being praised as one of the best. Most fans may know the show and its many popular characters, but most do not know about the disturbing background that inspired the show. Are you curious to know the dark background behind the series and how it inspired the actual show? Well, join us as we dive in deep and take a look. First, let's talk a little about Avatar: The Last Airbender. Avatar: The Last Airbender isn't just one of the most popular animated series of all time, it's also one of the most beloved series of all time. Created in 2005 by Dante DiMartino and Bryan, the show focuses on a 12-year-old boy named Aang. Avatars are the human embodiment of light and peace in connection with one's avatar spirit. After an avatar dies, he or she will be replaced with the next fighter worthy of taking their place. In The Last Airbender, the current avatar is none other than Aang. The nation that Aang belongs to is known as the Air Nomads, which he is the last surviving member of. The show ran for 3 years, ending in 2008. And while it was a show made for kids, many adults and teenagers also enjoyed the series. 2 years after the show finished, a movie titled The Last Airbender was made. Very shockingly, the movie was made by Unbreakable writer M. Night Shyamalan. Interestingly, The Last Airbender was one of Shyamalan's movies which were on the not-so-good side. Fans of the series have attempted to forget the movie altogether, which is easier said than done. Before we discuss the disturbing real-life background, let's discuss some works that came from the series. While the series may have only lasted for a short-lived 3 seasons, The Last Airbender name would still stick around. As we've discussed, a live-action film was made, but we won't discuss that further for the fans' sake. The movie was not the only thing projected to be birthed from the show. 2 years after the show ended, Dark Horse Comics published a book called The Last Airbender: The Art of the Animated Series, which showed 184 pages of original art drawn up for the television show. After that, Dark Horse published a series of comic books entitled The Last Airbender: The Lost Adventures, which showed adventures not before seen mixed in with some new adventures. There was also another Avatar project that required reading. In July 2019, young adult novels were released, serving as a prequel to the original show. The most notable project to come from Avatar was the sequel series titled The Legend of Korra, which takes place 70 years after the events of the Last Airbender series. The show focused on the titular Korra and was written by the 2 minds behind the show's predecessor. Now, let's talk about the dark, real-life place that inspired the series. There are many things, especially things made for children, that seem very sweet and innocent, but actually have very dark and disturbing inspirations. Avatar is one of those shows. In the series, a lake is the focal point of the 17th episode of the 2nd season, titled Lake Laogai, which is of course the name of the lake. In the episode, the gang searches for Appa, who has gotten captured. In their rescue mission, they discover a secret base that is set up underneath the lake. In the base, they find a group of brainwashed women. While the subject matter of brainwashed women may already be dark for a children's show already, it's made 100 times darker when you realize that it's not just something made up. The word Laogai itself is a shortened way of saying Laodong Gudzao, which is translated to reform through labor. In the olden days, Laogai camps were used to take criminals of different crimes and completely transfer them into everyday law-abiding citizens. The main method was to force the criminals to do inhumane amounts of forced labor until they decided they were good to go. Moving on, let's talk a bit about the rumored console game. There have been a good amount of games released surrounding the Avatar show and its spin-off series. The games date all the way back to consoles that aren't in use anymore, such as the Wii. The characters Aang and Zuko also make an appearance in the RPG game Smite. Their appearances in Smite are the last time that any characters from Avatar have been seen in a video game. That was true until recently, when a game surprisingly appeared on Amazon Japan. The game will be called Quest for Balance, and has an estimated release date of November 8, 2022. While this is surprising to Avatar fans, it isn't too surprising, as Avatar the website announced that the game will be coming to console back in February. The release still came out of nowhere and was accompanied by almost no information. We all know that the game publisher Game Mill Entertainment will be attached to the project. We're not sure what will happen in the game or what type of game it will be. Based on recent news, we could assume that it could be an RPG game. While we're discussing Avatar games, let's talk about the one that's been confirmed. Quest for Balance came out of nowhere and was a complete shock. One that wasn't even supposed to be announced when it was. The same cannot be said about Avatar Generations, which is the mobile phone app that had its soft launch on the 11th of August. Avatar Generations will feature characters that the series knows and loves, such as Aang, Toph, Suki, Zuko, and Momo. The characters will embark on a fun and action-filled adventure to fulfill Aang's destiny. The game will feature exciting and unique adventure sequences, but when you're not watching your favorite characters, you're playing as them. The game will function like most RPGs, with squads battling in a turn-based competition. Aside from upgrading the characters you already have, the game allows you to earn new characters as you continue playing. When you're not fighting in the game, you can go around the world you've come to love in the series, exploring fan-favorite locations and experiencing events that have been seen only in the show. Aside from reliving the events of the show, you can also go on new adventures that serve to expand the already vast universe. Next, let's talk about the new Avatar animated movie. It was announced recently at the 2022 Comic-Con that a new Avatar movie will come relatively soon. The film takes place after the original series was wrapped up and will focus on Aang and his team in a way we haven't yet found ourselves familiar with. The gang will be taking to the big screen as a group of young adults. The film will be produced by original show creators Michael DiMartino and Bryan Konietzko with the help of Eric Coleman, with the original writers again writing for this movie. The movie will be directed by Lauren Montgomery, who has directed episodes for shows such as Scooby-Doo, Mystery Incorporated, and Batman the Brave and the Bold. The release date is set for somewhere in 2024 and is not the only Avatar film to be released. In the future, there were also 3 other Avatar movies planned to come out. There's of course no exact date for all of them, but fans have speculated that they may be released with the first film coming out in 2024, the next in 2025, and the last in 2026. Finally, let's talk about the live-action series. Avatar fans must be very excited for the years ahead. Not only will they be getting a new game and 3 new movies, but they will also get a new series. The excitement of many fans dropped when they heard that it was going to be a live-action, considering what we got the last time, a live-action Avatar film. Hopefully things will be different this time around. Unlike the animated movies, the cast for this series has already been released. The character Aang will be played by Gordon Cormier, who previously appeared in the miniseries adaptation of Stephen King's The Stand. The show's showrunner is Albert Kim, who has worked on the shows Nikita and Sleepy Hollow, as well as a few others. There's not an official release date for the show, but we do know for certain that the show finished filming months ago, sometime in June of 2022. We also know that the show will be distributed through the mega streaming platform Netflix. According to Albert, he believes a live-action film will be able to bring a new, current era of fans in the modern world who may have been too young to watch the original show. It's a good time to be a fan of Avatar. This year alone, the franchise has announced more projects than some franchises have seen in decades. Let's just hope they're as good as the original series. What are you most excited to witness? Be sure to let us know down below.